मुकेश so late. अरे उसको बुलाओ. Yeah, mood. Mukesh.
So they have kept mute to all the participants.
अच्छा अच्छा तो हम भी पार्टिसिपेंट है.
नहीं सर, मुकेश को अभी मेरे को भी अनम्यूट
शेयर
किया.
कैसे करेंगे? मैं करूँ क्या?
हाँ सर, मुकेश को करना पड़ेगा.
इनॉग्रेशन करेगी फिर आपको बुलाएगी ना, मैडम बोल के स्पीच बोलेंगी मैम,
हाँ.
फिर मैम आपको बुलाएंगी.
तो उसको मैं डायरेक्टली कर सकता है इधर से?
हाँ हाँ
है?
हाँ, फिर आप
ठीक,
अपलोड करेंगे
मेरा
तो
स्क्रीन आ
आपका
जाएगी.
आएगा स्क्रीन.
वेरी गुड.
अच्छा, आपका कैमरा ऑन,
कैमरा ऑन है कि नहीं?
आपका कैमरा ऑन कर दीजिए ना. इसको बोलता हूँ स्टार्ट करने को, वो माधुरी मैम को बुलाएंगे, माधुरी मैम आपका इंट्रो देंगी, फिर माधुरी मैम आपको.
वेरी गुड.
Good morning, one and all. We are thankful by the support and encouragement shown by all of you by joining this FDP. Thadomal Shahani Engineering College was established in 1983 by Hyderabad Sindh National Collegiate Board. Since then, TSEC has been successfully imparting premium knowledge base to many graduate students through conduction of various online and offline technical courses. As we all know, quantum computing has emerged as one of the successful technology towards parallel, virtual, and fastest execution of computing world. Its unique property has led to its growth and adaptation in wide range of application. This FDP focuses on basic preliminaries for understanding quantum computing, its working, essential adaptation and changes reflected in the business process, modeling and practicing economy of velocity in enterprises, essential quantum algorithms, its application and recent developments. Dr. Madhuri Rao, Head of the Department of Information Technology and co-convener of this faculty development program. She is having 25 years of experience in University of Mumbai. She has successfully guided 2 PhD scholars defending in award of PhD degree. Now I request Madhuri ma'am to welcome our honorable principal sir, convener of our faculty development program, Dr. GT Thampi sir. Over to you ma'am.
Thank you, Sanobar. Hello, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. We are really happy to see such an overwhelming response for this FTP. This FTP, that is Emerging Quantum Computing Paradigm, radical change the way we conduct business process, is the brainchild of our principal, Dr. G.T. Thampi sir. We wholeheartedly welcome our principal, convener, and the keynote speaker of today's program. Thampi sir is having 34 years of experience in University of Mumbai. He has successfully guided more than 20 PhD scholars defending in the award of PhD degree. Quantum computing is considered to be one of the emerging area nowadays, but he had this vision of quantum computing some years back only, and he is already guiding PhD scholars on this topic. Hope you all get enlightened with his far-fetched vision on this topic. Now I request Dr. Thampi sir to enlighten us and address this program.
Good morning, everybody. My morning greetings to one and all. Welcoming each one present in the cyberspace. Dr. Madhuri Rao, the coordinator, Professor Sanoba, co-coordinator, Professor Chetan Agarwal, other faculty members, faculty members of IT, faculty members of other department, the guests from outside colleges and industry, head of the department of our college. It's a happy occasion To start with, we are proud to present this topic essentially because we all know it is in the infancy stage, not at mature technology, but then the human aspirations drive, the human aspiration to search the unknown, aspiration to seek truth. These are the motto of mathematicians and scientists. We, the creed of engineers, ride on their finding, their hard work, and we are designed, we are briefed in the world by the global market to create wealth and value for the mankind. We are not in the habit of altruism, searching the truth, searching the absolute truth, creating algorithm, creating mathematics, creating formulations for the sake of it. That is essentially the dharma of mathematicians, scientists. We are here to write on them, write on their findings, create useful artifacts, useful technology practices, which eventually result in improving the quality of life and some corporations massive wealth for the years to come. Now, the players in the marketplace are IBM and Google. Shortly, you can find a lot of other players. Even though we perceive Google will be the first mover in the marketplace with the quantum artifacts, quantum devices and practices, but then you never know. Still, it is very complex. The only thing is, it is driving the university teachers, educators to retrain, to mouth new tokens, qubits, entanglement, superposition. Spin. These are the then microwave pulses to start the process, and algorithms, obviously the complexity of algorithm that is going to be there. Then we are adding an adjective, quantum algorithm. Quantum algorithm is going to be different. And we are also seeing the demise of Indian numeric system. Our system based upon Shunya, that is 0, and Advaita, that is 1. So it is not going to believe going forward the 0 and 1, the bits, the foundation building stone of our digital computer is making way for qubits. So our contribution remains same. Nobody can take away that original contribution to the 0 and 1, our system, numeric system. But then it's a new way of life, new way of computing. Now, we undertake this, even though we know this computing paradigm, computing procedures envisaged by various practitioners and corporations based upon early 1900s thesis on quantum mechanics, quantum behavior of particle. Even our famous Einstein contributed. The players are different. Credit not going to Einstein, but then he also contributed. There is a creed in the mankind which gone searching for this kind of abstract truth. This is all happening mainly because you understand nature is hidden with a lot of phenomena, a lot of procedures, a lot of intermingled processes. It is there in the nature. The human being, a section of human being is biologically tuned and programmed to demystify, unravel these mysteries. So the unraveling of quantum behavior started in early 1900. Now corporations have, with a lot of deep pockets flush with money, they can afford to spend a lot of money on this behavior of microparticle. The other parallel is nanotechnology, that is also dealing with the behavior and application of nanoparticle. Here it is smaller than that, quantum behavior. Why we undertake this? Why we undertake this FDP? I initiated Mr. Sanobar Sheikh to a PhD program where she is expected to investigate, study and analyze in the event of quantum computing practices, what way it is going to change the marketplace. As a professional graduates and a teacher, as I said earlier, we are bound and served by the process of nation building by creating wealth and value for the mankind or the country at large. So therefore we undertake to establish a platform where we can preach to the industry behemoths in India to be prepared to embrace this newly evolving technology. We are sensitizing various professional education institutes to offer a supply chain of human capital, trained and human capital with a massive perspective on quantum computing. So last minute you develop, you undergo a crash course on quantum computing and trying to be part of a productive setting in an enterprise of 3 years of orientation, a perspective building exercise. Students undergo a perspective building exercise. The outcomes are going to be different. Therefore, the purpose of this FDP is to count. One is to sensitize the industry around, the enterprise around. Second, to sensitize the teaching community, the edupreneurs, educational capitalists, private capital in education, to be ready with all the infrastructure and manpower to impart training on quantum computing. Help the pupil develop a perspective on quantum computing. Quantum computing or not, in short time, we are going to create a computing paradigm. Need not be based upon quantum behavior, but for sure, we are going to create a computing paradigm, either the mixture of parallel computing, distributed computing, and with a appropriate queuing system will create a massive computing capability infrastructure which can be at par with envisaged quantum computing. That is sure. The current computing level, as Moore's law fails, we are not in a position to double every year or every 2 years. It is now the growth is linear. The computing power is growing linear. That is not matching with the human aspiration. Human aspiration is quadrupled to match the human aspiration driven by the big corporations. We need computing paradigm. We need devices which carry out massive number crunching ability. That is going to happen. Quantum computing or otherwise. Some other algorithm, other architecture. We are going to practice the economy of velocity. We are practicing at present. We bother about scaling up of economy, scaling up of production, scaling up of services. Our political establishment at the center is hugely blessed with that insight. Beloved Prime Minister ordered for crores of LED lights, crores of LPG cylinders. So they understand, they massively leverage the concept and construct of economy of volume, economy of scale. Economy of scale obviously bring down the cost. The variable cost will be scaled down if you increase the production. Now the next paradigm to create wealth and value for the mankind is economy of velocity. The enterprises and corporations are going to make massive amount, massive wealth, piggybacking this concept and construct of economy of velocity. So economy of velocity can be practiced only if we are given with devices which are magical in its computational ability. So our focus is on economy of velocity, need not be on quantum computing. Quantum computing or some other paradigm, we are seriously driven to create some artifact which are magical, which are dreamily in carrying out number crunching. We are aspiring to travel to Mars. We are aspiring to travel to Jupiter. We like to have picnic in Mars. That's the human aspiration. We as a mankind also create that kind of wealth to facilitate this. But then our physiology is not ready for long travel. So in short, if you can radically modify the computational ability, the number crunching ability of computational devices, then we realize a lot of paradigm shift can happen in business process. We will be massively succeeding in modifying the current way of conducting businesses. We start differentiating between value, the business model and revenue model. So enterprises, corporations carry out a lot of activity. The activity together we say business model. Then out of say 10 activity, 2 activity leading to monetization of services or product. That is the revenue model. Now these revenue models and business models are going to drastically change, and advent of a radically different computational paradigm, computational device. So we are envisaging, we are reimagining the business process which can create massive wealth, mammoth wealth for the mankind, for a geography, for a country. So we lately realize we can also emerge as a total solution provider. This point of time, we are not a total solution provider in any of the sector, a professional, non-professional. We simply boasting or living on our heritage, our past. 5,000 years ago, we were masters, center of excellence, center of knowledge. All that is fine. Currently, we are not providing any world-class solution to anybody. We are always at the bottom of the pyramid. We are also our industry also playing on economy of scale, low value, high volume. We thrive. Narayan Murthy thrive. Indian IT services TCS thrive on this. Seldom they move up in the value chain. There is a gradual movement. There is no radical business process where they are aspiring to be at the top of the pyramid. Risk averse, Indian psyche, we are blessed or cursed by our ability to be frugal. We as a society is frugal. So we reap a lot of benefit out of being frugal, but then the same frugality is also curse of preventing us as a community, as a nationality to move up in the value chain to create a world-class product. But then at present, our engineering graduates, our professionals are enthused to have a lot of startups. They know how to mobilize money. They know how to work the system, political system, economic system. They are with a lot of ideas and dreams. And these startups and professionals also thriving on gig economy. They are loosely bounded to enterprises, not employed. Lot of flexibility. So Indian startup enterprises can throw a surprise in the marketplace, can come out with breakthrough technology in quantum computing or similar computing paradigm or some other area. We'll also going to thrive on creating solution for AI and machine learning. The machine learning can get revolutionized only if the training time will come down. If you get lesser the training time, supervised, unsupervised training, then you will find more takers for AI, machine learning procedures in real-time application. So even to practice AI in its full potential, you need to have a device imagined as a quantum computer. To find its maximum potential. Otherwise, even we find reasonable problems, the training time is around 30 minutes. Too much. Even in AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, if we can couple that with, integrate that with quantum computing, the effectiveness and the realization of potential is going to be massive. So these are the background. The human aspiration is trying to cut down on the computing time, the processing time. Is again in the process area. So here, because we don't need these areas, new paradigm in AI, deep learning, the startup ecosystem can thrive. Startup ecosystem also can contribute to quantum computing. Is essentially driven by research, not by the infusement of capital, massive capital deep pocket. So these areas, Indian education system should focus to create a supply chain for this eminent evolving marketplace to enable the country to evolve as a total solution provider. So next big thing can happen to Indian startup ecosystem because they are having the dream, not big enterprises. The startup system is nimble-footed, agile, driven by massive aspirations and dreams. So understand Indian education system, so professional education should understand this possibility, encourage youngsters to undertake these studies. They can surprise the whole world. So that possibility is very much there. So I exhort all the educators and policymakers to understand this reality. I also exhort the brick and mortar, even though they are IT services company, in psychological terms, they are still brick and mortar. Whether it is Infosys or TCS, it's time for retrain, reorient, radically modify their business process by undertaking massive automation. Try to have a system in place to integrate newly evolving paradigms. So we here will expect to examine some sectors, business sectors, industrial sector, which can offer, which can radically get modified their business process. So these are, you can see the screen. This is from the cyberspace. It's not my original. So I am here to disseminate what is there in the public domain. We should not be lagging behind others. We also send a message to industry at large. Many times academia is proactive, much ahead of industrial requirement and understanding of people from industry. So we are having a false notion that people from industry can contribute a lot. Very rarely happens. They are in the process of wealth creation, value creation. They are conditioned, the mind is conditioned for that. The academicians who are true to their dharma, true to their profession, are much more proactive in identifying newly emerging practices and technology, and even in imperfectly integrating in the curriculum. So there are examples where we created a perfect artifact while the parts are imperfect. Not many times it happened. People are good, people are handy, in creating artifacts, perfect artifact, spotless, impeccable artifacts, product and processes, while the components are imperfect. So don't bother about the imperfection. Try to create useful things, whether it can be a process or a product. If you are trying to thrive in a product marketplace, you need to have is product marketplace is essentially capital intensive. You need a lot of money. Process marketplace comparatively cheap in the sense you need lesser money to thrive on process marketplace. So we are going to examine different sectors which is going to so these are the sectors identify various consultancies and experts. They identify finance as one of the sector which is going to be radically modified because of the ability of newly evolving computational paradigm. Even if it is quantum or otherwise. Essentially, quantum computing can be a two-edged weapon, as it can be used for decoding the encryptions. But then, if you are aware of all this, you can also create massively complex encryptions using quantum computing. The finance is essentially all over the world. Majority of the developing and developed country, the backbone is IT infrastructure. The backbone of financial growth, financial activities, IT infrastructure. It is energized by current digital computer. So current digital computer, as we say, having stated limitations. One of the limitation is this cryptography and information security. So we are aspiring high, but it is not happening because of this threat. So quantum computing is going to bless this sector, provided you understand the technology in its true potential in both ways. The cousin of finance sector is insurance. Insurance and finance correlated. The business model, revenue models are different, but then again the issues is the reliability of documents, dematerialized documents, both in banking and insurance. People can modify. Now that should be protected. So all these sectors are essentially driven by IT backbone, current level of information technology backbone, which are essentially relying on digital computer with the lacunas as we know now. Now the moment a decent quantum computing device is released, there is going to be a paradigm shift. The way we conduct insurance and banking or finance is going to be different. Similarly, what happened when we computerized manual process got computerized on advent of digital computer. We haven't simply translated the manual procedure. The software, the computer program, the source code was not essentially one-to-one translation between manual procedure and the computerized procedure. Computerized procedure essentially leveraged the strength of the computing device, massive ability to carry out number crunching. Manual procedure evolved based upon the human sensory system. Manual procedure for solving problems or carrying out any fruitful work, productive work, based upon human strength, human sensory system, human physiology. But then when we computerized the manual procedure, it was not one-to-one, not translation of manual procedure directly into computer-aided procedure. We modify the procedure to suit, to build efficiency, build productivity, based upon the strength of computer, that is massive computing ability, which can carry out millions of number crunching, millions of cycles, millions of computation in small time. Similarly, on advent of quantum computing, it is based upon the spin of microparticle. It's not based upon bits 0 and 1. So the solution building process is going to be different. It's not simply translating code by code. The software for digital computer is simply getting translated for quantum computing is not going to happen. Because advent of quantum computing, the way the business, the way the insurance is going to happen in the future is going to be different. Now they speak about energy sector, transportation. The allied bottleneckness of energy sector, the chemistry involved in unleashing the hidden potential, the molecular energy. So quantum computing in turn will provoke quantum chemistry. That in turn will create trillion tons of non-conventional energy. And obviously it is going to, the new computational paradigm is going to make the energy distribution, energy transmission into a new orbit. Because the new computational paradigm facilitates energy distributing company, power distributing company to track each and every sector. It can track the development, the process in each and every sector, nook and corner of the country, or the distribution map. Transportation. So we know even digital computer, it'll take months together to identify a the problem of finding the shortest path between two cities given a matrix of 30 cities. Even the most powerful digital computer will take months together to seemingly innocuous problem of traveling salesperson. The salesperson is trying to travel from the source to destination, the shortest possible path. There are some algorithms, but that is not the optimal algorithm, optimal path. If you are hell bent on finding the optimal path, then you have to go for brute method, exhaustive method. You try to create all the permutation combination. If that is the case, it takes months together. That is the complexity of real-time problem. For the human mind, it is small. 30 city, finding the smallest. Man presumes it is one of the simplistic problem, simplest problem. But if you get to the core of the activity, you realize it is time consuming. It takes time. For the man, it is impossible. For the best of digital computer, it takes weeks and months. There you find the application, the scope of quantum computing. So real-time monitoring of traffic, the pattern matching of traffic, is going to be much better on advent of quantum computing or kind of computational ability by devices. Now, Tesla kind of people also leveraging artificial intelligence massively for their autonomous vehicles. Now, Microsoft and Google also joined the bandwagon of driverless autonomous vehicles powered by AI. As I said earlier, even to unleash the complete potential of AI, you need to have entirely different computational paradigm, and you need radically different computational ability for the system. So, in the advent of this kind of computational technology, the current level of sophistication of autonomous vehicle is going to drastically modify, drastically change. Possibly, even though Tesla got the first mover advantage as they are the pioneer in autonomous vehicle on the road, the people coming behind, whether it is Google or Microsoft or Amazon, they'll figure out the pitfall of the current level of autonomous vehicle and essentially will leverage this quantum computing to make autonomous vehicle a super reality. That is sure. Now, supply chain. So these are the functional area where a lot of complexity involved, lot of human thought process gets involved. At this point of time, there is a level of complexity. There is a level of offering solution to solve the complexity. Transporting shale gas from American coast to Indian shore. Lot of logistics involved. Lot of formality involved. Lot of paperwork. Lot of permissions. It happens in sequence, not parallel. The messaging, the conversation between authorities, between two geography, it time consuming. This point of time, that is the level of human impatience. We feel the current level of communication between systems in US and India takes time because of the current level of procedure, current level of software solutions involved in both ends, based upon the current hardware configuration. So supply chain logistics, supply chain management is another area where things are going to be radically modified for dramatic experience. Automotive and aerospace, a lot of aerospace travel is still time consuming. Even with the hyperbole rockets, even the control systems, thousands of computers with the control systems are creating a lot of problems. It's not offering 100% reliability. There's a possibility we realize this point of time, we realize we can have computational device which can be much more efficient, much more faster. If that is happening, then the jet propulsion which thrusts the rocket to the orbit can be much faster. Now we are limiting the jet propulsion process because of matching computational ability. The reaction time is still, this point of time, we feel that reaction time of the control system is quite high. We are aspiring to reduce the reaction time. If we can find a new computational paradigm where which is matching with quantum computing abilities or envisaged quantum computing ability, the whole physicality is going to change. So a lot of constraints by the current level of inefficiency in computing. So we say inefficiency because we are now thoroughly convinced that there can be a different computational paradigm, computational device which can be much faster. Therefore, I say, I take my neck out and say the current level of computation inefficiency. That current level of computational inefficiency is preventing the unleashing of physical possibilities. That is happening in automotive and aerospace industries and activities. Lockheed Martin is all prepared. They are trying to modify their production line. They are trying to create a radically different architecture, shop floor architecture, to embrace newly evolving this. There are some people proactive, other people will follow. Chemical pharma material is of same area. These are essentially going to benefit from quantum chemistry or quantum behavior of materials. And if you can have a breakthrough in taming the quantum behavior, controlling the quantum behavior of particle, quantum mechanics, which will be translated in terms of computing. The moment that happens, the chemistry is going to be different. The materials thereafter is going to be different. It is going to be a revolution like thermonuclear reactions. All of a sudden we realize that a bombardment of an electron can create a chain reaction. So a breakthrough in quantum behavior, the controlling of quantum behavior, canalizing the behavior of quantum particle will also unleash the maximum potential of chemistry and material. a lot of possibilities of converting, transforming the materials into different desired material of different properties. Now, blockchain technology is again in infant stage in application. The technology is matured. It is massively successful in creating bitcoins. Bitcoins are embodied with massive intelligence. Bitcoins and blockchains are encapsulating lakhs of professionals' intelligence. The cost of Bitcoin is essentially reflecting the intellectual effort by millions of people. So it is matured. Blockchain technology is matured. Then the system, the political system, the business system, economic system is failing to integrate in a revolutionary speed, in a radical way. It is happening. But then, advent of a new computational paradigm which are more efficient is even going to modify this blockchain implementation. The effectiveness of cryptography and blockchain is going to be multifold. Because at this point of time, with the current level of computational ability, the human thinking process is limited to resolve the complexity, resolve a particular level of complexity. Because we are practical, intuitively, we know we can solve only this kind of complexity. Because we know the current level of computational ability of the most powerful computers, even in parallel or in distributed architecture. So our aspiration to solve or undertake resolution of a complexity based upon our understanding of current computational ability. Now, if you are getting a new device which are much more efficient than the current computational facilities, the human being naturally programmed, biologically programmed to raise their bar to have higher complexity. Now the current level of bottlenecks will be resolved, and the algorithm for cyber security, the RSA algorithm, is going to transform a radical change. The blockchains, the chains will have multi-fold blocks. So which can go beyond human comprehension. The number of blocks, the robustness of the blockchain is going to be beyond one's comprehension. So a lot of inefficiency happening in human endeavor, human business. Business is a big term. All human activity at enterprise level is amounting to business. It's not business selling and purchasing. Business is a big jargon, big token, even industrial activity, even business, governmental activity, even healthcare. So everything together, the umbrella term is business process. So business process with the current consciousness of efficiency, still promote lot of inefficient procedure. We say waste, any activity which is not contributing to the cause of the enterprise is going to be a waste. So advent of quantum computing like computational facility is going to eliminate a lot of waste in industrial process, in all human endeavor. By default, need not be consciously, each and every enterprise should design to eliminate waste by adoption of this kind of radical computational facility will automatically eliminate a lot of waste. So again, no, aviation, cryptography, space travel. The most complex human endeavor is forecasting. We are striving hard to forecast the future, essentially to tame the nature. The biggest endeavor is essentially to tame the nature, to understand the blessing and fury of nature, to escape the fury of nature. But then the current level of computational ability is insufficient. With current level of this, we are forecasting a lot of things, at least hours ahead. We are aspiring to forecast things at least month ahead, at least year ahead. Then we can have a lot of pre-process to mitigate the troubles. That's the aspiration. That is at the macro level. Micro level, the behavior of microorganisms, the behavior of bacterium and viruses. But human endeavor, the brilliant minds take time because they are heavily leveraging the current digital computers. It takes time. Genome, DNA sequencing takes time, costly. So this can be blessed if you can create the envisaged quantum computing kind of computing or kind of paradigm. It can be blessed. The society, mankind can be blessed. Data analytics essentially can use for forecasting, pattern recognition. The quality of life can be improved going forward. The current prescription of 8 hours per week, 8 hours per day and 40 hours per week can be reduced to 2 hours. So the best of thing which can happen to mankind is going to be reduction in working hours. Even number of days in a week, number of days in a year, working days in a year can be drastically modified. By this computational paradigm. So a lot of business process, the way we think about education, the way we think about learning, internalizing, lot of things need not be internalized by students. Nothing great about, somebody is, internalizing all the knowledge, all the solution, all the problem solving techniques, nothing great. As a orthodox community, before the advent of computers, advent of capitalism, a lot of virtues associated with one internalizing all the knowledge in the world. So that need not be a virtue at this point of time. The way we teach, the way we learn, both student and teacher, the way we carry out evaluations, it is all going to be different. It is all going to be drastically modified. We will be much wiser. Even our lifetime, we might be laughing at our own follies in our professional life, follies in the previous decades of action. It is going to happen. This is going to happen in our lifetime. We might be ashamed of the way we carry out the teaching learning process now, because we cannot see the future. We are not equipped to understand the future. All this can be justified because the life is for living. The foremost understanding is the life is meant for living, not for any other conquering of complexities. So this kind of new paradigms is going to change the way we think, the way we conduct human activity. It is going to be a chain reaction. It is going to be having cascading effect. It can have all kind of ripple effect. There are statistics for pattern matching. These are still happening. It's not mission critical, but then all this is going to be much more easy and efficient. And the biggest beneficiary of, or should be healthcare. Healthcare, medical research is going to be massively blessed, because higher computational ability will reduce the diagnosis or decoding effort. Forecasting effort, from the current level of human metabolism, physiology, people can, the systems and process equipment can predict what is going to happen next 2 years, next 5 years. So the biggest beneficiary ought to be the medical sector, the healthcare. Therefore, even without the drive for creating wealth and value, people can selflessly contribute to the advancement of this kind of computation ability. If you are having this kind of computation ability, then deep learning process is going to be efficient. Otherwise, deep learning with the multi-layer training, it will take time. Deep learning is throwing up a new paradigm, new way of solving problem. It is going to contribute seriously to healthcare. It can even replace experts in the field, even replace lot many medical practitioners. That's the potential. But then, if all that can happen in a small time, it is going to have a dramatic experience to the people at large, mankind at large. Self-driving car, I mentioned, self-driving car is going to be possibly it will go beyond the human, the best of human ability, the best of human drivers. AI driven by quantum computing, the reaction time is going to be less. So I foresee transcending of autonomous car into superhuman driven cars, system driven car, infallible, never fails. That's what we aspire. The technology system should result in infallible artifacts embedded with intelligence and brute efficiency. So that is the forecasting. Says a tip of iceberg, lot of possibility, lot of new inventions. We as a educational institute, as an educator, should thrive on creating new knowledge. The universities are essentially meant for creating new knowledge and dissemination of new knowledge. It's not for conducting examination, assessing, evaluating students. That is happening by default. These are offshoots. These are not the main activities. Higher education, university education should thrive on creating new knowledge. That new knowledge is expected to contribute to the mankind at large, the immediate neighborhood, the state, then the country, then the mankind at large. I foresee a lot of convergence of thoughts, new paradigm in consciousness of mankind along with the advent of new computational paradigm. It can also provoke man to think differently. The competition can give way for collaboration, give way for fruitful living, productive living. So this kind of FDP is essential to build a perspective. Human capital should be blessed with a perspective about the imminent changes in the computing paradigm. We thank AICTE and the cell concerned with funding, faculty development programs, the Government of India, Ministry of Education, to wisely undertake, promote these kind of topics. So over a period of 5 days, next 4 days, including today, lot of discussions, brainstorming, new realization. Can create a new paradigm in living, can lead to a peaceful and happy living together in a world of predictability. So we are aspiring for predicting the nature, predicting the future. These new quantum computing capabilities can enable us to do that. I wish all a great future, career, profession, and I hope all will fruitful be engaged I'll participate in the next 4 days and swear by the aspiration of scientific community and scientists to create a new paradigm, new model in computation arena. Give yours all for understanding this. I congratulate the IT department, information technology department of our college, Dr. Madhuri Rao and Sanobar Sheikh, Chetan Agarwal, other veterans of the department who are enthusiastic to further the cause of new paradigms in the realm of engineering. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much. I stop here.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot. On behalf of the Department of IT, entire TSEC, we would, and all participants, we would like to extend a warm thanks to Dr. GT Thampi sir for accepting the inaugural and the keynote address and addressing this FDP session in a very sensitive way. Sir has very nicely introduced the outgrowth of quantum computing in a very lucid way and has highlighted the potential growth opportunities that are available across so many different technological application domains like finance, cryptography, aerospace, aviation, blockchain. Sir, you have very meticulously, very nicely, very easily given a warm start to the FDP by bringing a kickstart into all the participants to understand the need and the time that has come to learn quantum computing. We again thank you, sir, for enlightening the participants with the potential that this quantum computing technology is having and the need of the time where we need to learn this course. We thank Madhuri ma'am to give us, sir and Madhuri ma'am to give us this opportunity to conduct the FDP course. The next session, we will rejoin for the next session on 12:15 for a discussion on concepts of quantum computing. The session will be delivered by Amit Saxena sir. Participants have to use the same link to join the next session. I would like to bring to the notice of all the participants that in accordance to the Atal FDP guidelines, this is a gentle reminder that all participants need to cover a minimum of 80% attendance as well as attend and pass the exam on the test on the last day to qualify for this for the certificate that will be given by the AICT. So I will request all participants that we'll meet at 12:15. Thanks, sir. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Chetan.